I'm gonna test the pH of my soil. Oh, now the wind's picked up. I hope it doesn't get noisy. And I thought I'd show you how I do it. It's a super inexpensive test that also you can do nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash, but all I'm doing is pH. I did it in my kitchen garden already, and I actually expected it to be like low pH acidic soil, but it turned out it was really high pH alkaline. So I had the lime I needed to neutralize the soil, and I ended up needing to get sulfur to acidify the soil. To do this, so there's multiple, there's 4 pH tests. I only brought 2 of the capsules down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some soil from the top of the garden and from the bottom of the garden, and I'm going to put just to the first line some of the soil in each of these. Marius tilled the soil once a couple days ago, and if it dries out enough this afternoon, so he tilled it going this way, but now he wants to till it the way that we tilled it going up and down, but now he wants to till it going back and forth because that's the way we run the rows, because then it helps for water. Cat, you get out of here. Oh, just peeing in the garden? You rascal cat. Get out of there. So all I'm gonna do here is just get a little bit, the dirt is pretty wet. So a little bit more there. No, that's too much. Oh, now I dumped out too much. Okay. So we were kind of hoping for some hot weather to bake some of these weeds so they don't just kind of reestablish themselves. That would be nice. It's supposed to be sunny. So there's one from the top of the garden. And here's one from the bottom of the garden. Oh, a bit too much again. It's so clumpy because it's wet. It's hard. If he had tilled it again, I wouldn't be allowed to just walk through the whole garden and compact, but he hasn't tilled it yet, so I can do it. We started this garden. This will be our 3rd year growing in this garden. In the last 2 years, we always heavily mulch with straw or old hay, and then over winter it rots down, and then in the spring when we till it in, it makes the soil so much fluffier. It's improved our soil so much, just adding that organic matter as well as compost and manure and that sort of thing. And it just, yeah, it's turned our soil from good to amazing. But now I want to know if I could do anything for the pH. Okay, so this is the one from the bottom of the garden. And then what we do here is we carefully open this capsule, which is a little tense. Oh yeah, of course I just got some of it all over me. Put it in, and it's like a white powder. And then you ideally are using like a distilled water or something. And I just use water from my Berkey water filter up to the top line. And then you give it shake. Let's see. Yeah, add water, preferably distilled, to the 4th line. Cap tube, shake thoroughly. Allow it to sit for a minute and for the color to develop. Okay, now I'm gonna do the other one. While those are sitting for a minute, I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of where we're planting what in the garden, and I'm gonna show you our new honeybees. Working with what we know well in the garden, and that's at the bottom of the garden is wetter, and when we plant potatoes down there, they don't always like it. So we're planting potatoes starting top down, and they'll take up probably half of the garden. And then we're gonna do carrots, and then we're going to do broccoli, cabbages, cauliflower, etc., and peas, because brassicas and peas are okay with some wet feet. So that's what we're going for. And then down there is a pig hut that Marius built, and then we're gonna use cattle panels. There's a big truck going by and it's loud. Cattle panels to make pens. They're not like pig tractor movable pens, but just like pens that he can move around. So we want to expand garden space down there. So first we're gonna put pigs down there. We're gonna leave the trees for now so the pigs have some shade. But once the pigs have done their thing, those trees will come down. Our kitchen garden, which is up at the house, which I'll have to show you another day, has strawberries, onions, shelling peas. Down here will be snap peas. We try to keep them totally different. Otherwise you end up with shelling peas in with your snap peas, and that's not very fun when you go to eat those in winter. Lots of strawberries, onions, blueberries. I got some stuff in the greenhouse too. It's May 28th today. Normally we would have had this garden planted like 2 weeks ago, but it's been super wet and we've had so many things going on that it's just, our last frost isn't even for another week. We had this chain link dog run that our dog can get out of, so we weren't using it. So we decided to use it for the bees, to protect them from bears and from the cows that will be in here. So they're not really out much because it's still cold. I haven't even checked them, like gone in the hives, because we only got them Sunday. So today, once it warms up, I'm gonna open up the hives. There's a few dead bees there. Maybe ones that just didn't make it in the hive the first night and then it was cold, I guess. So I'll open them up later, check where their syrup is at, and just check that they're happy in there. But we're excited. We expect to fail on this and it take multiple tries. Bees are something that has been very overwhelming to us for a lot of years, and we've always wanted to do them, but just like not got there because it felt too scary. Also, bees are like an investment. Like for the hives, the bees themselves, each nuke was like $275. So that's like $550 right there. Then the hives, the suits, the smoker, etc. We spent probably $1,200 total. So it is not for the faint of heart. Also, there's this woman here who's a 4-H bee leader, and she also kind of like mentors adult beekeepers. And she's like totally held our hand through this whole thing with a group of people, and just so amazing. We would not have done it if it wasn't for her. Like seriously, she has just held our hand through this whole thing. Okay, this is super interesting. This soil here is also really alkaline. So this is the top of the garden. And I'd say it's like, yeah, it's very neutral. And then the bottom of the garden is very alkaline. So the bottom of the garden could use sulfur too. And you know what? Well, when scab on potatoes likes, it thrives when the soil's alkaline. When it's acidic, it doesn't thrive. So one thing that was actually suggested is the sulfur compound that like you can buy at the garden or farm store or whatever, is that you dust your potatoes in that before you plant them to kind of create an acidic environment around the potato that's planted. And we for sure need to do that because like, wow, that's really alkaline and we're gonna get serious scabs. Scabs are mostly just aesthetics. It's not like it doesn't affect how they taste. We don't care, but aesthetics, they're not the prettiest potatoes. This chart also tells some of the different things, like some common things. So in that acidic of soil, carrots like a little more acidic, potatoes like way more acidic. It doesn't say any brassicas or anything on here. So yeah, we'll definitely need to be adding some of that sulfur to, it's like elemental sulfur, I think it's called. We will be adding that to the soil because this is way too alkaline. I haven't really done much for videos lately. Life has been so chaotic. I've been over on Instagram lots. You really need to be following me on Instagram. Our beef heifer had a heifer calf. She was bred to a Black Angus. This is Daisy. And that's Patches. And then Mossy, who everybody loves so much. Girl tried to die on us this week. Like something hardcore. We were in a triage, save the cow situation. She had milk fever and then it just like went south really fast and had serious complications, and she appears to be on the mend. You know, everybody on Instagram, I was keeping them posted. I just had so many prayer warriors helping us. I was just asking for specific prayers. It wasn't just like pray for Mossy. It was like, can you pray that she starts eating? Can you pray that she starts chewing her cud? Like, there was just so many things that, like, oh, I just am so thankful for everybody's support. And all this happened after Mossy calved on Sunday. She had a bull calf, and a few days before she calved, I started just really feeling like we wouldn't be rebreeding her. Like, her udder genetics were just not great. Like, her ligaments and her udder just were kind of blown. And so she had a bull calf, and in the past I would have been kind of bummed about that. But honestly, I was like, it's probably a good thing that we don't keep a heifer from her. And this rascal, my sister's beef cow, had twins. So Star over there, the one with the yellow nose tab for weaning, she was old enough to be weaned off of Jessa. So we weaned her and grafted Joe onto Jessa. And Jessa's doing a great job of raising him. And then the little calf there is Mossy's bull calf named Frank. They're named Frank and Joe after the Hardy Boys. She was playing in the dirt there, is why she looks so dirty. And both cows are actually raising both calves right now. Mossy had some really strong medicine. So we can't drink the milk, but the calves still can. So we've been locking Mossy in with the calves so that they drink more of her milk, and the rest of it is going to the pigs. Hi, Frank. Hi. Anyhow, Mossy, that's Jessa looking at me. We actually can preg test her this week. They're still in this sacrifice pasture because the grass isn't quite high enough for us to let them out to graze. Mossy's doing good. She's still not fully herself, but she's eating and drinking more and slowly on the mend. So we are not holding our breath, but we're pretty sure she's going to be okay. Anyhow, that's the end of my life update for this morning. And I hope you guys have a lovely day.